Yesterday we were reading Chaitanya Bhagavata. Should be here today. Was war das? Aha. No decision. Anybody has desire about this? Otherwise, it is a very ecstatic chapter in Gaudiya Kanda of Chaitanya Bhagavata. This is the life history of the Yuga Avatar. For this age, Kali Yuga, every age, Satya, Tapa, Kali Yuga, different process of yoga or process of self-realization and God realization is explained how to attain it. So 500 years ago, more than 500 now, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on this planet. He did not take birth here, he appeared. This is the difference between conditioned souls and the Supreme, or all his entourage, who are those who appeared with him. So he is never alone. So he performed his pastimes here for 48 years and he left. So he was always absorbed in kirtan, in chanting holy name. This was his, this is the process for Kali Yuga. You will also find in all different other religions that the name of God is glorified there. So, Mahaprabhu especially appeared to distribute the name, not only the name. It was a special appearance of the Lord he performed, that he showed how to we attain the highest level, highest understanding, how we could attain love of God. And this is very intimate and is very secret for those who are not familiar, who are not. But he gave it freely to all, and still up to date, many of his associates appear in this plane, in this world, to teach and to distribute the love of God. So it is this the life of Supreme Lord when he was appearing in this world. This written down by Krishnadas Kaviraj, by Vrindavan Das Thakur, and many others who got to directly experience, or it was told to them by his personal associates who came with the Lord. So these things, what is described here, is very confidential, and we should see or hear it with humility. We say we cannot, many things we may not really understand, but we try. So we will check how much we can follow. So the Lord fell many times in trance and in ecstasy, that he behaved sometimes like a madman, sometimes in a very loving way. And he was always absorbed in the pastimes of the Lord in the transcendental world. So day and night the Lord was absorbed in the nectar of Kirtan, chanting the holy name. The Lord had already begun propagating the holy name, and seeing him, all of the distress of the devotees was destroyed. So the beloved son of Sachimata, Gaurasunda, continuously chanted the Lord's names loudly, like a roaring of a lion, waking the atheists out of their stupor by kirtan, disturbed the non-devotees. Thus the atheistic population became enraged and aimed abusive language at the devotees. Someone said, "I cannot even sleep at night." Another commented, "All their screaming and shouting will enrage the Lord, and that will cause their complete destruction." So another said, "They avoid philosophy and speculative knowledge, so they behave arrogantly." Another said, "Who knows what they sing about? Behind all this mischief is that the Brahmana, Shivas, he and his three brothers get together and scream, 'Krishna, Krishna,' like madmen, just to fill their bellies. Does not one earn pity by chanting within his mind? Is this not sheer madness? The whole country will be ruined because of these Shivas." Shivas was a very close associate of the Lord. He had a big family and house surrounded by walls. So Mahaprabhu and all his associates, they were assembling there. In the night times, whole night they were chanting the holy name. And the others outside, the atheists, they were complaining, speculating what they are doing there, screaming. So today I have heard from the king's court, one outsider says, that they will send 2 boats with government men to capture anyone who sings kirtan in Nadia. This is the king's order. So she was Pandit and this man will run away and escape. But they will have to suffer the entire brunt of this. I warned all of you earlier to throw Shiva's house into the river. However, you did not act because you thought I was joking, and now it is too late. The danger has come upon us. So like this, the people were speaking, atheistic people. Another said, what do we care if the government men come here? They will just capture Shivas and hand him over to them. The atheistic population of Naravi discussed about the Vaishnavas in this manner. Finally, 2 boats with the government men came to Navadvip. The Vaishnavas heard this news and simply took shelter of the Supreme Lord by remembering him. This way, all of their fears were dissolved. They said, whatever the Supreme Lord Krishna Chandra wants will happen. And it is for the best. As long as he's here, then what fear do we have from this wretched people? Shiva's Pandit was a soft-hearted, magnanimous soul. This news disturbed him. He became anxious. For the well-being of the Vaishnavas. He was apprehensive because he knew that anything could happen under the Muslim rule. So this time the king and the rulers were Muslim, so they did not like to hear this chanting. So the Supreme Lord, Gaurasundar, the Super Soul, knew everything in everyone's heart. The devotees were still not aware that the Supreme Lord had come and was amongst them. Now the Lord decided to manifest himself. So Shiva Vishvambara, another name of the Lord he got there, roamed everywhere, unperturbed and unconcerned. His transcendental beauty unmatched within the entire creation. His body was decorated with sandalwood bust. His reddish lips were like the early morning sun. His eyes were like a blooming lotus flower. Cascading curly tresses shone like a halo around his glowing moon-like face. He wore a Brahman thread around his shoulders and dressed in fine clothes. His exquisite personal beauty completely captivated the mind. Casually chewing on bun, we went for a walk upon the riverbank. When the devotees saw the Lord, they became very joyful. But the atheistic people felt intimidated. He must have heard everything of the threat, they said. Yet he shows no sign of fear. He strolls about as though he is a prince. Another person said, listen friends, I understand all this. Wait and see. What you are observing now is just another trick to escape. So fearlessly, Lord Vishwambara looked in every direction, observing the scenic beauty of the swiftly glowing Ganga and her banks. He saw a herd of cows grazing on the banks. Some of them went to the river to drink water, and a few young ones jumped about with raised dives. Some of them were putting each other, while others just lay around chewing their cud. This sight immediately agitated the Lord. He forgot himself, began emitting loud roaring sounds. He kept saying, I am him, I am him. In this condition, absorbed with himself as the Supreme Lord, Vishwambara, swiftly ran to Shiva's house, shouting, What are you doing now, Shiva? Shiva was engaged in worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev behind closed doors. So Lord Nrsimhadev is a manifestation of the Supreme Lord. He is very strong and they are very fearful of, because he is half lion, half man. He is the destroyer of all demoniac mentalities. So he was worshipping this form of the Lord behind closed doors for his protection and the protection of the devotees. The Lord came and repeatedly kicked the door. The Lord screamed out, Whom are you worshipping? Whom are you meditating upon? The person whom you are worshipping is here, opening the door. So in this way, sometimes he gives some hint who he is. Hey, I am him. But the devotees were kept in illusion, so that it is the Lord appeared as a devotee in this age of Kali. So Srivas trembled and sat down, awestruck. The Lord spoke to Srivas, calling out, O Srivas, all this time you have not known who I am. I have left my spiritual abode of Vaikuntha and come down to this material world, and you're beckoning because of your loud chanting of the holy name. And that Vaitacharya's loud calling. Not recognizing me, you are living completely complacent and unconcerned. Avoiding me. Advaita Prabhu has gone back to Shantipur. I have come to protect the pious and punish the miscreants. There's no need for you to worry. Just go on worshipping me. So tears filled Shiva's eyes and his heart swelled with love for the Lord. All his fears were destroyed by the Lord's reassuring words. Currents of joy passed through Shiva's body, and he stood up with folded hands, offering prayers to the Lord. Shiva's Pandit is a great and pure devotee and a sublime scholar. Having received the Lord's order, he began to offer prayers. So he recited from the Srimad Bhagavatam the prayers of Lord Brahma to Lord Krishna. O Lord, you are the eternal worshipable Supreme Personality of Godhead. Your complexion is dark blue like the monsoon cloud, and the color of your clothes is brilliant yellow like a flash of lightning. Wild flowers and kunja earrings decorate your ears, and a peacock feather adorns your crown. Your face looks so exquisite, enhanced by the gently swaying flower garland hanging around your neck. You stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. Your mouth is smeared with the curd that you have just eaten. Like this, here, Shiva remembers this Krishna in the spiritual world. He is a small boy. Supreme Lord is a small boy and behaving like this. So your transcendental possession, a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute are special features of your beauty. Your feet are soft like the petals of the lotus. I worship you, the son of Maharaj Nanda. I worship the lotus feet of Lord Vishwambara. This is now Vishwambara is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who stood before him now, whose complexion is like the dark blue monsoon cloud, who wears a yellow dress. I offer my obeisance at the lotus feet of the son of Satimata, whose ornaments are a bunch of white flowers and a peacock feather. So he saw in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his original form. And spoke these prayers to Vishwambara, who appeared now as a devotee, like ordinary devotee. He did not display who he really was. Only a few devotees, his eternal associates, could understand who he is. So, and Srivas was one of them, and Dvaitacharya was one of them. Gadadhar, of course. My obeisances at the lotus feet of the disciple of Gangadhar's Pandit. Nima, who is decorated with a flower garland. Nima is Vishwambara or Mahaprabhu, another name. And holds a preparation of sweet rice in his hands. I offer obeisances at the lotus feet of the son of Sri Jagannath Mishra. Nimai, a million full moons fade before the exquisite beauty of his face. So I offer my obeisances at your lotus feet, my Lord. You who holds the cane and the flute, I offer obeisances unto you who has been declared by the Vedas as the son of Maharaj Nanda. This is real God consciousness. There's no discussions of anything of this world. Whenever some problems appear, they take shelter under the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord himself may talk to them, and he take all the anxieties away. So, like this, it was manifesting his pastimes as incarnation as a yuga avatar. Avatar means somebody who steps down from the transcendental world to, especially in this form, to spread the holy name, the process of chanting the holy name. Shiva Pandit prayed like Brahma to the Lord's lotus feet. The words of transcendental praise flowed out with ease from his mouth, and he spoke on. You are the Supreme Lord Vishnu. You are Lord Krishna. You are the Lord of all sacrifices. The holiest of rivers, the Ganga, has sprung out from your lotus feet. You are the life and beloved son of Janaka Maharaj, Sri Ramchandra. And you are Lord Nrsimhadev. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are like bumblebees searching for honey at your lotus feet. You are the knower and compiler of the Vedas, and you are the Supreme Lord Narayan. You appeared as Lord Vaman to trick Bali Maharaj. You are Lord Hayagriva. You are the soul of the universe. You are Lord Jagannath, the moon of Nilachala. And you are the ultimate cause of all causes. Is there anyone who is not subordinate to your energies? Whether it be your insurmountable material energy or your internal spiritual energy. Even Lakshmi Devi is not fully aware of your glories, even though she is your constant companion. The Lord Shesha, who acts as a friend, companion, and brother, who serves you in every respect, is even subjected to your illusory potency. What to speak of others? You have placed me into this condition of family life, which is a dark well of forgetfulness. My rarely attained human birth has been wasted, because I could not recognize you. In various ways, you have deluded me, my Lord, going to the extent of putting on fine clothes and performing pastimes of scholarship, so that I was unable to recognize you. Lord of my heart, please listen to me. Now that I have met you, I disregard all my fears. All my sorrows and sufferings have vanished. My life has begun again. My day has come. My whole life and all my endeavor have now become successful. The sun of good fortune has risen in my heart. My forefathers have been liberated. My house has been sanctified. My eyes have never been blessed with such a wonderful sight as I am seeing today. I see him whose lotus feet are most worshipable by the goddess of fortune, Sri Rama Devi. Observing the wonderful form of the Lord, Shiva's Pandit was unable to control himself and he fell into an ecstatic trance. Currents of joy ran through his body and emerged into an ocean of happiness. With raised arms he wept and breathed heavily, then rolled on the ground. Dilwar smiled and accepted Shiva's prayers with great satisfaction. Bring all the family members of the house and let them see my transcendent form, the Lord said. Along with your wife, worship my feet and ask for any boon that your heart desires. Following the instruction of the Lord, Shiva went into his house and gathered all his relative friends, wife, and returned quickly to the presence of the Lord. Weeping with joy, Shiva offered all the flowers collected for the worship of Lord Vishnu to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. with fragrant flowers, incense, and lamp. Shivas, along with his wife, brothers, other relatives, servants, and maidservants, offered worship at the lotus feet of the Lord. They all fell down and earnestly prayed, pleading for the Lord's mercy. So Shiva is most dear to the Lord. Therefore the Lord blessed him and everyone present by placing his lotus feet upon their heads. Smiling, Vishwambara said, "May your attachment and attraction for me increase." The Lord spoke loudly like a roaring lion, and addressing Shiva said, "O Shivas, are you afraid of something? News have reached me that the government men want to capture you, and they have come with 2 boats. I am the super soul within everyone's heart. Thus I control and direct everyone's activities according to my sweet will. The king can only capture you if I, being seated in his heart, prompt him to do so. Yet if for some reason he acts independently and gives the order to capture you, then I will do the following. I will be the first to step into the boat and present myself before the king. Upon seeing me, do you think that the king can remain seated upon the throne? I will delude him, take control of him, and drag him down. Should not this happen, then I will tell the king, listen to the truth, O king. Call all of your religious heads and judges to the court. Collect all of your elephants, horses, animals, and birds. Whatever creatures you have, bring them to your palace and order all of your castes, priests, to read from your scriptures and inspire the creatures to such a state of spiritual emotion that they begin to cry. When his priests fail to do so, then I will reveal my potency to the king. I will say, O king, on the instruction of this same Kasi priest, whose lack of spiritual power we have already witnessed, you want to forbid the congregation chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Now you shall see my power to the full satisfaction of your eyes. And I shall capture a mad elephant and bring him before the king along with other elephants, horses, deer, and other animals, and instantly make them all cry in ecstasy and chant Krishna's name. I will make the king and all his men cry and chant Krishna's name. I know that you don't believe that it is possible, but I will show you right now. You can see for yourself. The Lord noticed a small girl who was the daughter of Shiva's Pandit's brother named Narayani. Lord Gaurachandra, Supreme Lord, the Super Soul within everyone's heart, ordered the little girl, Narayani, chant Krishna's name and cry in ecstasy. The 4-year-old girl became extremely agitated with ecstatic spiritual emotion and cried out, "O Krishna!" She began to weep, losing all perception of the external world. Tears streamed down her body and she fell to the ground, smiling. Lord Vishwambara asked Srivas, "Are your fears pacified now?" Vaishnavas will remember for many years to come how Narayani was a recipient of the Lord's mercy. He was a very learned Pandit who is well versed in all the scriptural conclusions, threw up both of his hands and said, "My Lord, when you exhibit your terrible form as all-devouring dime and annihilate this entire material creation, I will fearless chant your holy name. Now that you are here present before me in my house, what fear do I have?" The Lord manifested his opulent Vaikuntha form, and upon seeing this sublime revelation, Srivas, along with all the assembled relatives, brothers, wives, and servants, went into ecstatic trance. Even the servants and maidservants of Shiva's Thakur, we are now seeing the transcendental form of the Lord that even the personified Vedas are eager to see. How can I possibly describe the glorious and magnanimous nature of Shiva's Pandit? A little dust from his lotus feet can purify the entire creation. So this vision we should run for, that we can see the transcendental form of the Lord. Do not think it was a form was made of flesh and bones. And seeing with this eyes what we have, they got transcendental eyes to see. And they understood this is reality. This is how the Lord is controlling. Unseen, we have not the eyes, we have not the capacity to see His hands in everything what happened in this world. He is there, but the devotees, He showed His transcendental form. He manifested before them. And even Narayani, small girl, she fell in ecstasy by seeing this. Oh, what kind of eyes these are? Huh? We need very thick glasses. No. With these eyes, we are not able to see. The Lord can be seen in the heart with transcendental eyes. Lord Krishna appeared in the prison house of Vasudeva, yet his pastimes are performed in the house of Nanda Maharaj. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya appeared in the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra. Yet he enjoyed so many pastimes in Srivas Pandit's house. All the Vaishnavas loved Srivas Pandit. And anyone who came to Srivas' house experienced great joy. Even the servants and maidservants in the house of such a devotee as Srivas can see the very rarest of sights, the Supreme Persona of Godhead in person. From this we can understand that serving a pure devotee is the best process of attaining the supreme goal, because by the mercy of a Vaishnava, one can certainly receive the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Lord Vishwamba ordered Shiva's Pandit, do not speak about this incident to anyone. When the Lord regained his external consciousness, he felt somewhat abashed and reluctant, and after comforting Shiva's Pandit, he returned to his own house. Shiva's Pandit, whole house was immersed in jubilation. Whoever reads Shiva's Pandit's prayers to the Lord will immediately be elevated to the position of eternal servant of Lord Krishna. Lord Balaram, my beloved Lord and Master, has spoken to me from within my heart. This is now the author speaking. Vrindavan Das Thakur, he was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda. Nityananda was an expansion of Balaram. So, Lord Balaram, my beloved Lord and Master, has spoken to me from within my heart as the Super Soul. And so, on his order, I am writing these wonderful activities of Lord Chaitanya. I pray to the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas, so they may bless me to attain the service of Lord Balaram, my Lord and Master, birth after birth. Just as there is no difference between the name Nrsimha and Yadusima, in the same way I know Lord Balaram and Nityananda Prabhu to be the same person. Lord Balaram is very dear to Lord Chaitanya, Chandra, and in his present incarnation, I glorify him by the name of Avadhuta Chandra. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda Prabhu are my life and soul. My Vrindavan simply offered this song at their lotus feet. So this chapter 2 is now closed. Is there anything one can explain to this, or is any question? We have to make our home also like Shiva's home. A special place, a transcendental place. So how can we do this? We surrender to pure devotee and associate of the Lord. Through him, it is possible that we can experience such ecstatic symptoms who was manifested by the whole family and of Srivas Thakur in his house. Otherwise, Hare Krishna, the Lord will appear like ordinary man. We will not recognize him, especially Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He appears in this world as a devotee, ordinary man. But he just wants to experience how do the devotees, how their ecstasies and their love for him, what do they experience? I want to know this. So in one incarnation of unlimited incarnations, he appeared in the material world as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the same time, he gave us the process of how we can attain a spiritual plane. How can we get the eyes to see transcendental personalities or transcendental world who is what is far beyond our tiny vision or capacity, what we are experiencing with this material eyes. So this is what he is teaching, what he is giving to us. And this is in this age of Kali. It is process is very easy because we are not able to understand the Shastras properly now. Only where rare you will find, yeah, because we are deep absorbed in this material world, attached to so many things in this world. We are attached to the body. We are always afraid we will die, we will get sick. This is for a pure devotee, a real devotee, this is something he's not experiencing the world like this. Because he has eyes to see, has a far bigger vision. There is this material world, then there's the mental world, intellectual, they are all temporary. So we are always afraid in this world that we don't get this and we will lose it when we have it. But the devotee is not a person of this world. Whatever the Lord may arrange, he has faith. So in the same way, Mahaprabhu told, why should you be afraid when they send the soldiers? For what? I will protect you. Because he is always there for the pure devotees. He is sitting in the heart of his pure devotee. The Lord is there. And when relation is made, real relation to the Lord, the pure heart, then it is much more real than this world, what we experience here in this world. Everything comes, goes, like a circle. But the Lord will never leave his dear devotee. And the devotee will never leave the lotus feet of the Lord. He's always, this we cannot understand now, I think. This we have to experience, but by chanting holy name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continuously remembering by chanting his name, by remembering his pastimes, by hearing Harikatha from the pure devotees is important, otherwise we will not be able to make transcendental experience. No, time is gone. Anything more to say? Jai Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gopakta Parinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi.